Hello, a pleasant day to all of you. I am Ldra, ADPC's Localization Program Lead. Localization has been both a practice and a demand of local actors and communities themselves. In the humanitarian and disaster risk reduction sectors, localization was highlighted as a global priority during the 2016 World Humanitarian Summit in Istanbul. It is a key component of the broader call for humanitarian transformation, brought about by the unprecedented rise in humanitarian needs, driven by disasters, armed conflict, and the escalating impacts of climate change and the shrinking global funding. Localization is vital for achieving global commitments to sustainable development and ensuring that no one is left behind. What then is localization? Localization focuses on putting people at the front and center of decision-making and action to reduce their disaster risks and vulnerabilities to disasters. It adopts a bottom-up approach where local actors and communities play a key role throughout the entire disaster management cycle. This approach empowers vulnerable and at-risk communities by giving them a stronger voice in prioritizing and designing solutions, transforming them from passive recipient of aids to actually having agency. For ADPC, localization is a process of strengthening national and local actors in defining, planning, implementing disaster preparedness, response, recovery, and climate actions towards safer, well-prepared, and resilient communities. Now, localization is not about local level implementation. It is about locally led, implementation. Why is localization of DRR and climate actions important? First, immediate response. This is recognizing that local actors are actually, they have direct presence on the ground and therefore act as first responders during crises and emergencies. Preparedness, therefore, should be recognizing and building upon local actors' capacities. Second, cultural sensitivity. Local actors bring indigenous knowledge and cultural understanding, enabling more effective and timely response compared to international organizations who may lack context-specific insights. Sustained recovery. National and local actors bridge the gap between immediate response and long-term recovery, ensuring that the recovery process is locally led and sustained. Lastly, climate impacts and adaptation are hyper-local. Now, what do we do in localizing DRR? First is to foster partnerships that promote decision-making empowerment. By ensuring that national and local actors have ownership of their priorities, the partnerships enable them to lead their own agendas with the necessary guidance, support, and resources from partners like ADPC. Long-term flexible funding. This is supporting local partners to access, generate, even in-country, long-term and flexible funding. For instance, for the ADPC, we have what we call the Asian Preparedness Partnership Program, which is a partnership among 6 countries in Asia, where in each country we have actually what we call national preparedness partnerships, which is a multi-stakeholder partnership of government, civil society, and private sector. Now, in each of these partnerships, they actually define their own priorities for preparedness and climate actions. Now, under APP, there is what we call the Asian Disaster Readiness Fund. It is a fund that helps them implement locally led actions, whereby they actually define their own problems, and also DRR interventions for preparedness. Now, local capacity development. This is not only enabling or strengthening local capacities on technical aspects such as DRR, but also institutional and operational capacities to enable our local partners to effectively carry out their own preparedness and climate actions. Coordination and collaboration. This is bringing in different sectors on a nexus approach, different sectors, different levels of governance, different actors to come together and be able to collaborate and define coordination mechanisms and systems to launch preparedness in times of disasters so that they can respond accordingly. And then inclusion and participation. For localization to be truly transformative, it must be inclusive. ADBC promotes an all-of-society approach, ensuring that disaster-affected and at-risk communities are not just beneficiaries, but active agents of change in interventions. Influence and visibility. Influence meaning that we are able to enhance the capacities of our local actors to actually influence national partners in shaping policies. This is policy advocacy, policy development from below. And in summary, localization is enabling risk reduction and resilience to be effective, and it can only be effective if it is done by the local and for the local. So please join our Localizing DRR for Anticipatory Action course in ADPC. See you. Thank you.